Hello, everyone. We are very glad to have you here on our live webinar dedicated to one of the most requested topics, messaging personalization. Let me introduce our speakers for today. So we have Anna, our team lead Americas. Anna, hello.
Hi, hello
How are
everyone.
you?
Yeah, welcome. Great, thank you. Hope you're doing well as well.
Great. And we have Stan from our customer success team. Hello, Stan.
Hi guys, thanks for having me. I hope you're doing great.
Amazing. Yeah. Before our speakers start sharing their knowledge with us today, I'd like to remind you that we have our live chat where you can leave your questions. So don't be shy. Ask whatever you want there, and we will answer them at the end of our session. So, Anna, I'm passing the mic to you. What's on our agenda today?
Thank you, Julia. Well, welcome everyone again. Yes, let me show you the agenda for today's webinar. So the topic is personalization, and everything will be dedicated to it. First of all, we'll talk about what is personalization and why it is so important, why we need it, basically. After that, we'll pass on to what customer data we need to collect, we need to use, which we need to avoid and be careful with it. And we'll show you some visual segmentation in our journey builder. Of course, we'll touch on some challenges because as easy as it may sound, many brands, many companies have troubles with personalization still. But after that, we'll show you how to overcome these challenges, and we'll move on to best practices and live demo in our platform, Pushwoosh platform with Journey Builder. After that, you'll have some time to ask us questions if you have some, or just share your opinions regarding the webinar, regarding the topic. So let's start. I think we can move on to our um, first slide. What is personalization? According to Cambridge Dictionary, personalization is the process of making something suitable for the needs of a particular person. So, even from the definition of the word, it is obvious that in the communication with the customer, first of all, we need to offer solutions to his or her current needs, and secondly, we need to anticipate those that may arise in the future. In marketing, personalization is a one-to-one strategy that seeks to better understand and connect with customers. It uses real-time data and insights to deliver highly relevant messages and offers. It represents a shift from what had been a traditional one-size-fits-all approach to methods that target customers based on their needs and interests. It's changing the face of marketing, moving from assumption-based batch and blast approaches to meaningful personalized customer experience. And according to many surveys, personalization will be the prime driver of marketing success within the next few years. Well, actually, it turns out to be easier said than done. Numerous surveys from reputable brands like Gartner, for example, Forbes, Accenture, and many others show that marketers are having a hard time connecting with audiences. For example, according to a Gartner survey, 74% of marketing leaders say they struggle to scale their personalization efforts, while 65% indicate that they feel overwhelmed by the need to create more content to support personalization. As a result, 88% of consumers feel that they don't receive tailored help, and 38% of customers said they would stop doing business at all with a company due to poor or creepy personalization, as they called it. So, as you can see, the price of getting personalization wrong is very high. And remember, customers want to be treated as individuals, not as users, accounts, or prospects. Customer data. What we can say here? The volume of data now about the consumers, the volume of data that we collect can be overwhelming for anyone. That's true. Besides, what customers want and what businesses think they want are often two different things. So let's talk about what data we really need and we really need to use for personalization and to build rapport with our clients, and how to avoid that creepy feeling that someone is watching me. Here, let me please quote Martha Mathers, Managing Vice President at Gartner. Uh, According to Martha, brands need to be extremely thoughtful in how they personalize their content today. Instead of utilizing every piece of customer data available to them, brands should focus on showing customers they can help them first. Then layering in the right balance of data to boost message relevance without making things too personal. Relevant targeted communications can create lasting consumer loyalty and drive revenue growth. According to some surveys, about 10 to 30%. But remember that personalization is not simply adding someone's first name to an email or showing them the same spammy ad for the same stuff as everyone else sees. It's not personalization. The challenge is to personalize in a way that doesn't cross the lines and delivers genuine value and relevance. For example, a survey conducted by Accenture determined the coolest and the creepiest personalizations according to the consumers. Let's take a look. So, the coolest engagement tactics were demonstrations of empathy from brands, and the creepiest were exactly those personalizations, let's say, where brands targeted or were sending messages, were sending communications to the people after they passed or bought something in a real shop, in an offline shop. So here you can see this meme, which is a very good illustration to these results of the survey. So you have to be very careful not to fall in that creepy feeling of someone is watching me, but to give the value and to fulfill the needs of the customers. Well, anyways, here we are to help you improve your personalization. That's why we make this webinar, and we'll help you not to become meme heroes. And now moving on to a more, let's say, practical part, let me give the word to Stan, and he will tell you about the main pillars of personalization. Stan, the floor is yours.
Thank you so much. Okay, so we all know about the personalization, about the content, right? About the dynamic content, like the first name at the beginning of the message, right? But it's not the only one option for data-driven personalization. Basically, personalization includes two main parts: segmentation and dynamic content. And the segmentation might be up even several users, all right, and without any dynamic content in it, but it's a must, right? So for the segmentation, you can use the customer data, and in this case, we have tags in the Pushwoosh to collect this customer data. You can also use the customer actions, which is also useful for, let's say, more advanced level of personalized communication. And for that option, we have events as a thing in our platform, which you can use to do better segmentation. For the dynamic content, we also have tags in our system, which you can use to replace the placeholders of dynamic content with the name or product or favorite product or any other thing that you can that you would like to use in the segmentation. And as Anna mentioned, that is better to use in this case. So it's not about the whole bunch of data that you have and using in every message you have, in every campaign that you have. We need to have this balance between two of these parts. So let's move on and discuss tags a bit and tag-based segmentation. So we have tags, and you can collect the customer data as a tag in our system, and you can use tag both for dynamic content and for segmentation. Here's a couple of examples what kind of data you can use as a tags in our system. It can be age range, geographic location, job title, industry, search queries, and so on. But what about the actions? Customer behavior is also an option here, and you can track the activity of the customer and build your successful personalized communication based on the customer behavior too. What type of customer behavior? It's a page open, page product added, level achieved, product purchased, or any other related to your idea, to your workflow of the communication. So we are not going to collect every single action of the user. It's just about the balance, as I mentioned before. So here's a couple of examples of what tools we have in the Pushwoosh in order to build the great personalized communication chain, which can collect and use with the data that you have on your side. So for personal data, we have tags, and it can be used both for segments and for dynamic content. For customer device, you can use, let's say, push with a custom sound or vibration or any platform specific parameters of the push notification that might help to create a bit more personalized communication with your customer, like time sensitive pushes for iOS, for example. If we are talking about the multi-language audience, you would like to have a multi-language push, for example. We also have that feature, and you need to understand that it's not a translator, and you need to create your own highly personalized content for your users. But we have this feature just in one campaign, and you will be able to send just one push with different languages, with different content divided by different languages just in one push. And it's not needed to create different campaigns for different country or different language, right? So you can spend your time for creating different segments based on the preferences, let's say, but spend less time for creating content and creating just one push campaign with multi-language option. Customer time zone, super helpful thing because it's uses for message scheduling, silent hours, and time zone. We are not going to we don't want to be creepy guys and send messages at the middle of the night, right? But in some cases it might help. For example, if you know that your users working at night, right, and you would like to send the communication just in the middle of the night, but in the most cases it's better to use silent hours. We also have that feature. For the locations, we have geo-based messages for lists of products and preferences. If you, for example, would like to lead your customers on the particular page with the products, for example, based on their preferences, we have a deep links feature, and you can use deep links in order to transfer your customer directly to the products that can be interested directly for that group of users, right? And for customer behavior, as we discussed previously, we have events, and we also have a couple more features, and you can check it and try our personalization features in our free Pushwoosh account. You can check that, play around with our platform, and see how it works. Let's go a bit into the platform itself and discuss tag. So you might ask what type of data we can collect and use, and how you can handle this data. And in Pushwoosh, we have different types of values for the tags. So if we are talking, for example, about the last date of users activity, we have a specific value type like date. If you would like to mark users as a paying users, you can use Boolean type like true or false, or you can use numbers, just the text or list of text. So it can be different, but pay attention that you need to be mindful and use this tool in order to create better communication, better personalization, but not to collect all the data that you have, right? Based on the text, you can build the segment with different conditions. It's just simple. You can see our segment builder. You just choose the tag and choose the condition. You can add a couple of more to create more complex segment, and that's it. It's just simple, so you can see how it looks like, and that's it. Nothing to say more. And let's start with the journey builder, the main tool of personalization in the Pushwoosh. So here is the simple journey. The use case is pretty simple too. So we start with the segment of users. So it's a streaming platform, right? We start with the segment of logged in users who love drama and of course paying customers, and we would like to notify them about the new series. And this is just the simple. It's not that much personalization, probably inside the message like name or something like that, right? But we can do more. We can do visual segmentation in the customer journey builder. And this is the chain which I started with all users, with the segment of all users, and use our segment splitter feature just inside the journey, and put here a couple more conditions like 80 plus, mobile users, registered true, and send them a welcome push, welcome series. So here, just in the user interface, you can build different segment of users just using your pre-built segments. Any other things that you already built, you can use right here and use this visual segmentation. But you can do more. You can do advanced visual segmentation, where you can use not only the segments, but also events. And based on the user's activities, you can change your communication strategy, or like live, like our demo, right? It's the same like on our demo. You can ask your question, I can answer it. So it's the same here, right? So we start with all users, add a couple of conditions, and here in the push message, we have a flow split if the user opened this notification or not. And based on this action, we can do additional communication chain. So here, if the user opened this push notification, we are going to wait for another event. Let's say check the particular page in the app. And after that, probably we would like to collect a new segment based on the tag that we can assign at the end of this chain. Like these users watched this page. We know that we have this segment and we would like to connect with them later, let's say in a month, whatever. But we can do more. You can do very advanced event-based visual segmentation, and it's looked like this. Okay, it seems pretty creepy, but it's pretty simple. I know it looks really crazy, but it's the same event-based visual segmentation. Couple more events, couple more segments, couple more flow split. Sorry, and yeah, it's really look like this. But it depends on your requirements, right? So if you would like to track users' activities for the whole period of users' life cycle, or depends on how deep you would like to track it and how deep you would like to see and change the strategy like live, you can do that sort of segments. But it's, trust me, it's really simple. It just drop a couple blocks more on the canvas. I will show you this a bit later on the live demo, but just for information, you can do that sort of communication as well. So I pass word to Liana. What about challenges?
Okay, thank you, Stan, and thank you for that very difficult, very advanced visual segmentation. And accept that challenge, right? What can go wrong? So, but actually, that's true. Many brands still struggle with having personalization right. It seems easy: collect information, use it, increase revenue. What could go wrong, right? So let's take a look at some challenges of personalization and how to overcome them. First of all, as Accenture calls it, is the burden of choice. So it's basically the business's number one challenge in meeting consumers' needs. they try to figure out still how to uniquely serve everyone without overwhelming them. Even with all kinds of data and technologies at their disposal, businesses still struggle to create personalized experience that will not drown their customers in too many options. So the endless aisle sounds great until you are the one that have to walk it. Overwhelmed by choices, consumers are more likely to make poor decisions, be less satisfied, and abandon a website, an app, or brand altogether. So our recommendation here would be just keep it simple. Guide your audience and do it step by step. If you want to offer them a lot of features, a lot of things, do it step by step and keep it simple. The next one is also connected with the data, so consumer data silos and insufficient data. This issue often arises between sales and marketing teams, for example, the two groups that have historically run into coordination challenges due to data siloing. Exactly. So, in this case, organizational alignment would be critical to the success of personalization campaigns. Without it, you just risk alienating customers with unorganized communications, sending them duplicate or conflicting messages, different offers, so it will just confuse your users. Again, our recommendation would be to align your data across channels, across departments, and to keep it aligned everywhere. The next one is technology limitations. As strange as it may seem, many brands cite the lack of sophisticated marketing technology as a barrier to personalization. Surveys show, for example, that the majority claim they don't have the technology they need to support their strategies. For example, 36% of marketers claim their personalization tools lack functionality, and 34% believe that some technologies are too expensive. Fortunately, personalization campaigns and successful personalization campaigns can still be good and useful and profitable with the most marketing tools available today. For example, CRMs, email technologies, customer engagement tools. You just have to learn to use them to their full potential, and then you will see the increase in revenue. The next one would be respecting consumer privacy. So here you can see a nice picture which I like very much, where your data privacy, your privacy looks like an egg, and then in internet it all smashed. Yeah, to avoid this, you have first to build trust, because there's a fine line between personalization efforts that show care for the customers and those that feel intrusive. People really care about their privacy and will only respond well to personalized communication that uses the information they've consented to share. At the same time, it has been proven by many surveys that customers are likely to share more personal data if they know that it could be used for their own sake, to to craft a personalized offer, to make a discount or something like this. So why I said in the beginning, you have to build trust. When people trust you, they are ready to show more information with you that you can use for personalization. And the last but not least is inability to build a business case or calculate ROI. Most industry professionals, when asked, will say that personalization is critically important. Nearly 90, but still nearly 90% of marketing leaders claim they don't have a unified view of their personalization performance. So, to build a business case for personalization, brands should track how it affects conversion rates, average order value, revenue per visitor or per user, and other metrics that you normally track in your business. It is also important to be aware that personalization doesn't have to be all or nothing proposition. Any improvement that you introduce in personalization maturity can have a measurable impact on revenue, even if it falls short of the one-to-one personalization goal. So here, our advice is measure your metrics and track the effect of personalization, how it affects them. So now let's take a look at more, let's say, practical part, right? We'll share with you some best practices of personalization, because challenges can be overcome easily with our advice and with some efforts. So no problem here. We'll share with you best practices, and after that, Stan will show you live demo how you can use personalization in our platform. So to better understand what customers really value and what kind of personalized communication works for customers and what doesn't, McKinsey conducted a survey among shoppers who were receiving personalized interactions with various brands. Their findings were far from extraordinary, and they seem perfectly logical if you think from a customer's point of view. Still, many marketers fail to embrace this information and use it to improve their personalization. So here are the 5 most common scenarios that the surveyed customers said they value when it comes to personalized communication. So I guess I will ask Stan, right, to cover some of them. For example, this one.
Yeah, sure. So I think we can do it quickly.
Sure.
Just discuss a couple of most successful personalization scenarios. So
Yeah.
product recommendation, pretty simple to understand, right? So we have some products in the cart. We would like to do some upsell to the user before they finish the purchase, right? And you can send the message to them, right? Uh, in a timeless manner, of course, because if you send the message about the upsell after they finish the purchase, it's gonna be a bit creepy, probably sometimes. I don't know. So just the product recommendation, depending on the scenarios that you have for e-commerce or for any other industry like video streaming or gaming, it can be relevant for any industries that have some product to sell and recommend, right? Even in gaming, of course. Behavior-based interaction, we already discussed that a bit. So based on the user's action, you can send the communication to a user. Added product in the cart, we can track this event. We know that this customer haven't finished the purchase yet, and we can send them a message, right? Like, hi guys, you haven't finished this job for today to buy our perfect best product ever. So pretty useful, pretty let's say common scenario. Reminders, announcement, and event triggered communications. It's similar to behavior based, but with a bit different thing in it. Like if you would like to remind something to a user about the upcoming events or upcoming events, I mean the activity in the app, for example, new level is going to open in a couple of hours, and you would like to remind them, or you just drop new collection, and it's similar to behavior based because for some cases you need to track these events, but for some cases you need just to know the preferences of the user, right? So and you can go further
Yeah.
with the other successful personalization scenarios.
Thank you, Stan. Yes, they were very nice recommendations, right? So yeah, I will complete the list with a couple of recommendations more. For example, seamless and consistent communication between channels. Previously, I have mentioned in challenges that it is very difficult to make the communication consistent, but you have to pay attention to that, because when it is seamless and consistent, this is what makes the experience of the customer unique, and it makes it valuable, right? So when cross-channel communication involves using information that customers have not actively provided, brands also should try to supply information that consumers will find truly valuable. And here, be careful with recommendations that are based on a purchase, on, for example, on the information that that the users haven't actively shared, because, for example, based on a purchase that made with a different business. That might sound really creepy. And the last one here would be loyalty programs and rewards. Customers, customer offers based on the information about what types of products they buy, how often they buy it, when they buy, and what product categories they never purchase. All this information is important to build customer loyalty and prevent churn. So personalizing them, and one more tip here, gamifying this experience is a highly effective way of not only to inspire purchase, but to encourage new buying behavior in your customers. Having this said, now we know all the challenges, we know how to overcome them, we know what are the most successful personalization scenarios. Let's move on to our best practices and ROI calculations. So let's say that we know we are retail, we know our user profile. Let's call him, for example, Jeff. He is between 25 35 years. His MRR, monthly recurrent revenue for our business, is $15. He stays with us for 12 months. So in total, his LTV is $180. So he brings us a $180 throughout these 12 months. Let's take a case when we know that Jeff browses our website a lot. He might even have our application installed, but he hasn't yet purchased anything. He hasn't done checkout if he has something in the cart in the application. So something impedes him from doing this. In this case, what we can do is first understand what information we need to improve his behavior. We would recommend, for example, the following segmentation options. You can attribute Jeff the following tags: website visits frequency, preferences, means what pages he browses, and app install date. So regarding the communication, how we can use it, we can prompt Jeff to subscribe to push notifications, web push notifications or app push notifications. And in the application, we can message him about the apps ABCs, how to apply filters, what features we have, how to find anything, and how to proceed with the purchase. Maybe he just doesn't know and he doesn't understand how to do this. In monetary terms, what it can bring us, this activation, let's call it activation campaign, visitor for websites or user activation campaign. Let's say we have monthly active users, monthly unique users, 100,000. Conversion is 0.5%. It means that we have 500 first orders from these monthly unique users. Their MRR is $15, as we said. Lifetime is 12 months. So from this category, from these 500 first orders, we have $90,000 as LTV. What will change? Let's say that we perform this activation campaign and we activated 0.1 more percent of monthly unique users. It means our conversion has become 0.6%. Now we have 600 first orders. What it means that we have plus 18,000 in LTV or plus 20%. Not bad, right? For activating just 0.1%, we have plus 20% in LTV. Another case. Oh no, let's take a look at the at the journey, of course.
And I would like to add a little bit more. It's just about the increasing the money, right? But what about the LTV? You can also increase the LTV, right? For not I don't know, your average LTV might be 1 year, but you can increase it for 1.5, right? And it's going to be, and it's going to be more, right? But what about the exact example, right, that we have here? So this is the chain for the example that Anna just described. We started with the segment web users who have visited the website at least 3 times in a week, last week, of course. And we include the segment splitter here for those users who are actually have the app installed, right? The other users not interesting for us at this moment. And for these users who visited website 3 times in the last week and have app installed, we send the ABC push about the new features or the app itself, and say like, hi Jeff, we have these features in our app, you can check it out. It's very helpful, handy, you can check it, just click on the push notification, right? And then we can wait for the action. We wait 20 days, but it can be less or more, up to you. Okay, got back a bit, thanks. And based on this event, we can probably show to him like ABC in app, or send another message. It can be different, but I think you get the main idea. So you have the segmentation, you have the events, you can track it and send the proper communication, and increase, in this case, the process of transferring users from the web to a mobile app, new features, and increasing the LTV overall. So I think we can move to the next case. Oh, and I think your mic is on mute.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, I was so afraid, yeah, exactly, to interrupt you. Thanks. So another classical, let's say classical use case is abandoned cart recovery, of course, and we can use it for upsells as well. So let's say that our Jeff put something in the cart and forgot it and left it there for ages, and the items are there, still there, and he's not closer to checkout. What we can do is first decide what segmentation options we need, what tags and events we can attribute to Jeff, let's say uncompleted purchase in this case, edit items or the list of items, and his preferences, what he liked. Regarding the communication, we can use these tags in events to remind Jeff of the product in the cart, or for example, offer him a discount for these products, right? Another good point is to recommend some other items to match those that Jeff already has in his cart. Again, let's count the ROI in monetary terms, what it will bring us. So again, our MUU, monthly unique users, is 100,000. Let's say that from them, 10% add something to cart. So it's 10,000. And only half of them finish the purchase. 5,000 purchases and 5,000 abandoned carts. So 5,000 purchases, they bring us $900,000 in LTV in 12 months, if we calculate again the MRR with as $15. If we recover at least 5% of these abandoned carts, of these 5,000 abandoned carts, this will mean that we'll have conversion 55% and we'll have plus 10 in LTV, or plus $90,000. Not bad, right? For 5% of recovered cards. So let's take a look at the customer journey, how in Pushwoosh for this case.
Yes, here we start not from the segment, but we're using event for that. So it's product add. So once user adds product in the cart, we will know that it's happened, right? And we can even know that some other attributes can be implemented, let's say, in this event. So we probably will know that it's going to be a particular product, right? Like blue shoes or climbing shoes, for example, in this case for Jeff. And using this information, we can start this journey and check if the checkout was successfully performed, right? We are waiting for 1 minute, but I think it can be a bit more, for up to 5 minutes, for example. And we're waiting for this action. And if this action hasn't been performed, we will send the communication card recovery 1 minute or 5 minutes, whatever. And here you can see the placeholders that you can change. And here's the dynamic content taking place. So Jeff is a name. Climbing shoes is an attribute of event, which is in our case the product just added in the card, and the backpacks, which is sort of upsell in this message, and we would like to offer another type of product. So in one message, we remind to user about the card that is not empty at this moment, and we advise to add the backpack, for example, right? But let's get back a bit here at the green arrow. And if user successfully purchased something, we can send a 20% discount voucher to him in order to increase the chance of the next purchase, right? So this journey solving actually three use cases at this moment, like the next purchase, the cart recovery plus upsell, right? And after that, we are waiting for 1 day more. If the cart is still not empty and the checkout hasn't been successfully performed, we send another cart recovery push notification. And we can do a lot. I mean, we can do this event-based plus push notification chain as long as we want, but you need to understand the use case and the behavior of the user. It doesn't make any sense of sending this message about the shipping cart, I don't know, 1 month, right? It's just, it should be in a timely manner, just sending in the right place in the right time, in 1 minute, probably in 5 minutes, maybe more. It depends on your case, of course. So I think we can move on.
Yeah, and I suggest that we move on to live demo. Yeah, from these slides, exactly from theory, let's move on to live demo.
Yes. So, okay, here we are in the Pushwoosh admin panel, and I've already created a journey, a draft journey, in order to show you the capability of the platform and how actually build the journey. So it's pretty simple. This is the same workflow that I shown you on the very beginning, with the users, with the streaming service, right? So we start with the segment based on the following audience type, like logged in users who love drama and paying. Scheduled launch as usual. For the next block, I choose the segment splitter from the controls here, and I just wanted to notify users who really love Vampire Diaries. I don't know why. Probably I'm a big fan of Vampire Diaries, probably not. We'll never know. Okay. But let it be Vampire Diaries.
It's not
so
obvious. It's not obvious at all.
Okay. So let it be Vampire Diaries. So I have a segment, Vampire Diaries, and after this segment splitter, we have all the users who logged in, who love drama, who are paying, and the favorite series is Vampire Diaries. So for those users, we're going to send new series ad. So here I choose the preset, and I'll show you. So here's our preset builder, and here's my preset. So I use the placeholder for name. So almost finished watching the favorite series 1. So here's also dynamic content. So it can be, so in this case it's Vampire Diaries, right? So I get the message like, Stan, almost finished watching Vampire Diaries, okay? So it can be trigger me like, yeah, okay. What you can advise me. And we have something you will love, check it out. And here in the preview, I can also attach a media here. And of course, the next series should be corresponding. So Chilling Adventures of Sabrina, of course. And here, this is my preset, right? After that, I would like to check if the customer started watching this new series. So imagine that we have an event on our system which can track users' behavior on your platform, on your streaming platform, and we are waiting for start watching with attribute series is Sabrina, right? So once I started watching Sabrina, I will actually drop the campaign, because this is our main goal, to show me that new series is that can be interesting for me. We have it, so just check it out. And if I didn't start watching this series, we can send another push notification. And after that, we can check if I started watching the Chilling Adventures of Sabrina again and again and again, and you can build this chain like the same as on advanced level of customer journey builder in the previous on the previous slides, right? Okay, what about the users who are not Vampire Diaries fans? We can do, for example, additional campaign right here in this particular journey. So for example, I used a segment House of Gucci favorite series, film, right? So that means that this group of people go through this chain, and this group of people go through another chain, right? And here is pretty almost the same flow, but I add a couple more features. So I send the same push notification, but with different content. I tracking if the user started watching this film or not. And here, if it's not, I put A/B splitter from the controls here in order to check in order to check our communication strategy and the content itself, and probably some timing. So here I put a delay for 1 day, and this push notification can be equal, and the same content but in a different time might get different results, right? That's why we have this A/B splitter. We have this action like wait until. It can be delayed for 1 day up to 30 days, right? So the idea is simple, right? And after that, by conversion rate, I can choose what line I should use in the further communication. And we can a little bit adjust our chain right over here. So we'll probably create another segment splitter and add here another type of segment. Let it be, for example, the same one, but doesn't matter. And for example, we have a tool called reachability check. So if you would like to check if the user is reachable by push notification, for example, before sending the push notification, or in order to choose another type of channel, you can use this reachability check. And if the user reachable by push notification, we can send the push message, and if it's not, we can send the email message, for example, and send a list of new series from the drama section of our web streaming platform, right? Okay, so, but of course we can do more, right? I think you learned that from my side, that we can do even more. So I deleted our start segment, and I just would like to start not with segment but with event, right? And here I just would like to choose, let's say, start watching series is Sabrina, for example, right? And based on this event, I can add the segment splitter here and continue the chain, right? So that means that you can start not from the segment with the particular audience, but with the event, right? And track the activity, check. But I think it's not a good example. The best example is if this. I think I have. Yeah, I have this one. Series almost finished, right? And if we track the user activity and we know that this series almost finished. So we can do this segment splitter and put here logged in drama paying, right? It's similar to the previous chain, but started with the event, and it's a bit different. Started with event, and I think it's it's better. I think, right? Because we know the user experience, we know that the actions that they performed, and based on these actions, we can send the proper communication. Because he just or she just finished this cool series, and we need to show them that we have something else, right? So as you can see, it's pretty simple to build this sort of journey, and I think that's it from my side, actually. So guys, if you have any
Yeah.
questions, yeah, you
Well,
can
that
add
was
questions on the comment
awesome,
section.
actually. Yeah, that
Yeah,
was awesome,
thanks.
actually. Thank you so much. That was impressive, actually. How with these simple tools, like with these blocks, you can build anything. So let's say, wrapping up what has been said by me, by Stan. The first thing, the focus of the business is the customer needs, of course, and when they get the personalized help is when they fall in love with the brand, is what makes them fall in love, right? And basically what makes them spend their money, stay with the brand, be loyal, etc., etc., pay more. And so it will be mutual love, I guess. And on this slide you can see this very simple formula, love formula, let's say, from personalization, and how we see this, and how our experience have has proven has proven to be. So I guess that's all from, really, from our part this time. Um, if you have any questions, please let us know. Please put them in the chat. I think. Do we have anything?
I think I can see the question from the
Okay.
very beginning,
Yeah.
from
Hmm.
James. Right, let me handle this.
Okay.
Which user actions can be tracked for better personalization? You can literally track everything, right? But if we're talking about better personalization, so it's up to the workflow that you would like to use. So for example, if you would like to upsell something, you need to create this workflow. You need to understand the user behavior in terms of your product, right? And you need to understand which points you would like to check. So the simplest example is abandoned cart. So for abandoned cart, we have two events: start of the process and finish of the process, right? It's product added and checkout success. So for this chain, we need just two of them, just two actions, not all the actions that performed by user on the website or in the application, but just two of them. For the other cases, right, in game industry, visiting some page or achieved some levels, right? It can be also an option, but all the things are based on their strategy and on the goals that you would like to achieve. Upselling, um, I don't know, just more visitors on the website, on the application, um, more engagement of the users, right? So it depends on the goal, right? I think I answered your question.
Yeah, I think so. Well, I just wanted to add. Remember, as Martha Mathers said, you have to be extremely thoughtful in how you personalize and what information you use. So yeah.
Excellent. Yeah, so I really encourage everyone who's watching us online to ask their questions, take advantage of this opportunity. Meanwhile, we actually gathered a couple of questions that our clients usually ask, or people who is interested in personalization. So let's go like to the very basic stuff, where to start, and what should people do first when they want to personalize their communications. Any advice on that, guys?
I can advise from the, let's say, technical side of of it, right? how to implement this and to do this. So if you're going to use Pushwoosh, let's say we have an SDK, software development kit for the web and for the mobile application. And after you integrate our SDK, we already start collecting some data about users' activity in the app, right? But of course, you need to do a little bit more in terms of development to include this events tracking and tags sending, let's say, in order to have this segmentation and event-based communication. All right. So, but it's not that hard as as you might think, because I'm in charge of more technical part and all the stuff related to customer journey builder and all the things. But it's not that hard actually. But you can start with just the simple things like using segmentation without events, right? But using the dynamic content sometimes, probably preferences. If you have it on your side, you can use the preferences, and based on the preferences, create the segments and send the communication to a very small group of people. Create not only one segment, but a couple of them, and use the visual segmentation in the customer journey builder. And after that, you might not really need the personalized content at the end, right? Because your segment can be 1 or 2 users, right? But if you send for these 2 users, like, hey guys, these blue jeans is fit you well, right? and that might really help to your end users. And it's simple to start with, just couple tags, just couple of data points, let's say. So from my perspective, it's pretty simple, right?
Yeah, it sounds like that, of course. Well, from the business point of view, I can add that probably first you should understand what metrics you track, what metrics you want to improve, what is important for your business, and then understand what user data will be useful for that. Build a strategy, find an instrument, for example, any customer engagement platform. In Pushwoosh, you saw how we can do what we can do. And then, like, when you match your business understanding with the technical part, I think again then that's when customers will fall in love with your brand, with your product, anything. It's not even it's not only for retailers. I mean, it can be used in any industry, of course.
Okay, yeah, sounds easy, but yeah, when you start working on all that,
exactly, easier said than done. I said that in the beginning, exactly, but
that's why I'm here, you know.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Practice makes it perfect. So no one is perfect from the beginning. Just practice makes it
Sure.
perfect. Yeah. Just don't be afraid. Reach out to us with your questions. Reach out to support, to Stan. So we're here to help you.
Great, thank you guys. And yeah, we're running out of time. So the last question that we would like to know the answer: can events be used in the dynamic content?
The simple answer is yes.
I think we can finish here.
No, I can continue.
No,
We can do
sure.
more. Okay.
Exactly.
So
always advanced answer.
Yeah. In the events, we have attributes. So you can pass attributes into our system, and by attributes I mean literally every single thing that can be tracked. So, for example, we have the same abandoned cart, right? And you would like to have the product, the exact product, as I shown you on the previous slides, in order to put the dynamic content in the message. And we have attribute for the product, for the name of the product, and we can replace this dynamic content in the push with this attribute from the event. So I think it's not that simple probably at this time, but so we have event, right, and we have the attribute inside this event, and once this event trigger the information about the product transferred to our system. And we can use this information right inside the journey. So you just create a preset with the placeholder, and this placeholder will be replaced with this attribute from the event. So at the end of the story, you get the push notification with the dynamic content based on the product which we get from the event. Okay, I'm finished.
Okay.
I'm done.
Explained.
Magic. It's just magic.
Yeah,
Let's leave it
it
there.
just yeah. Just know that we can handle that,
We can
and
do that.
all the magic happened on our backend. So yeah.
Cool. Yeah, okay. Thanks a lot, guys, because it was very insightful and at the same time very funny approach. Thanks for that. I hope our watchers also liked our training session of today. And yeah, I just remind you that all the personalization features that we have, multi-language communications, dynamic text, dynamic content, etc., all available in our free account. So you can go right now and try everything and see how it works. And we also have another webinars on our webinar page. So go and check some interesting topics for you. And thanks a lot for being with us today. And let's see you next time. Thanks a lot.
Thanks for watching. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye bye,
Bye.
guys. Take
Bye.
care. Have a nice rest of your day. Bye bye.
Bye. Bye.